Hey guys, how's it going? Austin Reed here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Alright, today we're going to be doing the continuation of the story of me. This part is Brazil. I believe we last left off at the end of my Amazon journey, and I was just showing up to the Posada in Brazil. So we took a flight from Santarém, Brazil to Fortaleza, Brazil, and this is right after the bombings happened. So it was kind of like, oh shit, we're going to Fortaleza, it's a big deal. And we went ahead and we took a bus from Fortaleza to Itarema, and we got to Itarema and we showed up to the Posada, and the Posada was really nice. We first showed up and the owner of the Posada just kind of ignored us. And it was really, really strange. I thought that after traveling for a month and some change, that we would get a warm welcome, but we didn't. We did get some food, but it took her 2 days to even acknowledge we were there. And that just made me feel kind of shit inside, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just expected a little bit more than that, and it turned out that the house sitting thing did not turn out the way we wanted it to, at all. First of all, she was unaware that there are contracts that you're supposed to go through and you have to leave. You're not supposed to stay there. She thought we were doing a workaway type of thing instead of house sitting. So it was her impression that we would stay there and work. Both of us work, even though there wasn't that many people and that much work to do. And there was only 7 people in the whole place, and all we had to do was tend the bar. But yeah, so she made us work, both combined about 16 hours a day between me and my wife, so about 8 hours each. And it's just kind of okay, we went here to come house sit your house. I thought I was going to work for 2 hours a day taking care of the animals and watering the plants, but I actually have to work 8 hours a day. How am I supposed to develop an income? I'm fucking broke. I just almost died on the Amazon River. I don't really have any money. I have very little. How am I supposed to make this shit happen? And so that went on for about 2 weeks. We worked, and Lua would work extra so that I could work on the income. And I kind of got the income going a little bit. Got some sales on the Fiverr. That's when I started doing Fiverr for music. And back then it wasn't doing very well yet because I hadn't quite figured it out yet. And just things progressively got worse and worse. So it was so backwards. She was like, go ahead and make drinks at the bar. And we're like, okay, we'll go fucking make drinks at the bar. What do you want? A caipirinha. Dope. How do you make a caipirinha? I don't know. Nobody fucking showed me. She didn't show us how to do it. Nobody else showed us how to do it. So we looked up a recipe on Google and we made a fucking caipirinha and we gave it to the customer, and the customer didn't really like our caipirinha. And so we had to throw it out and I guess make a new one. And she got mad at us because we didn't know how to make the fucking drink. And it's like, well, we didn't come here to be your bartender. You didn't train us. You never spent the time to actually, care and give a shit about your employees. So, yeah. And so this continued to happen with everything, with oftentimes cooking at the bar. Whenever we put something away or did something, we always did it wrong because we had no training. And so there was a lot of friction that started happening between us and them. And then I remember, it was really weird, I was getting fed up and pissed and more mad at her because she was taking advantage of us. She was making us kind of pay for a lot of the food we were eating. The only thing we did was stay free, and we had no free time. We were basically her slave employees. And she said she was going to leave at the end of January, and then she decided she wanted to stay until the end of February and have me completely redo half of her roofs because they were leaking. I don't know that much shit about roofs. What the fuck? You know what I mean? So I was kind of thinking, well, what the hell, am I going to stay here for a couple months just being her slave, and then I'm going to get out and I'm not going to have an income? That's not good. She's not even giving us enough food and stay for this to be worth it. You know what I mean? And so, this is a crazy story. So there was this cat that was whining up in the roof, up in the ceiling. It was in between the ceiling and the roof because there was a gap. And this is on a fucking 2-story building, okay? And so she told me to climb this 2-story building to try to get to this cat. So I climb up the 2-story building. I don't have insurance. She doesn't have insurance. It's whatever. On a rickety ladder. And I try to get the cat. But the cat's on the other side of the building and I can't actually get on the roof in order to get the cat. So I try to put some milk down to get the cat to come to the milk or whatever. And the cat never does. And so the cat's just kind of whining there all the time. Period. And she just doesn't give a fuck. Like, she didn't really care. She was like, okay, whatever. So she didn't really try to do anything other than tell me to do it. And I tried, but like I couldn't do it without breaking something, so I couldn't do it. And so then her guests started complaining that there was this baby cat that was meowing all night long and they couldn't sleep. And all they wanted to do was make sure the cat was okay. And she was like, I'll change rooms, don't worry about it. They're like, I don't want you to change the room, I want you to deal with the cat. And she's like, I did everything I could to like help the cat. You can even ask Austin, I worked really hard to try to get the cat out of there. And I was just so pissed at this point at her because she's blaming us for shit that like we don't know how to do because she doesn't fucking train us. She treats her employees like shit. She doesn't pay shit to anybody. And like, I fucking tried hard to get that cat. She didn't do shit. She sat there and she bitched and moaned. And so I blew up at her. I was like, no, you didn't do shit, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not even fucking give a fuck about this, blah, blah, blah. And so she fired everybody. She fucking went mental. And she fired me. She fired my wife. She fired the fucking other lady. And like 7 of the guests left. Like a bunch of French people left. They just left that day because they were completely fed up with the way that she was treating people and the employees and shit. So she just had like a mental fucking breakdown, dude. And so she kicked us out on the street in Brazil. And Brazil's not very fucking safe. And so she's like one of the few people on my list of people that I actually legitimately hate. I hate her. She is a horrible person. So we're out on the street in the middle of Brazil. So we walk over and we're trying to find a taxi to the main town of Itarema because we're kind of near the beach and there's like nowhere to stay or any grocery stores or anything. So we met up with this British dude and he said that he would kind of help us out. He gave us a hotel, well, the name of a hotel that was like super, super cheap to stay at. And so we finally got a taxi to town. We found the hotel. The hotel owner was really nice. We're still really good friends with him to this day. He has a really lovely daughter, and we used to sit there and drink with him and speak Portuguese. He would teach us Portuguese all the time. It was like super cool. And we kind of stayed there for like a month and a half. But the hotel was like really shitty. Like, it was like one of the shittiest places I ever stayed. Like, our room was leaking, there was mold everywhere. The power went out like 4 or 5 times a week for several hours. There were days where it would rain and the power just kept going on and off and on and off. And there were cockroaches in the kitchen. We were allowed to use the kitchen, but there were cockroaches and mice. And there was a frog that lived in the kitchen. I actually really liked the frog. It was really cool. But yeah, so that's what we were living in, what we were cooking in. It was actually really gross. And just the aura of being there kind of got to my mental state, and it made me less productive just because my environment was so kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like, I was really trying to have a good mood. I wasn't. I was pissed. I was angry. I was having not a very good time at all. But I was really trying to elevate my mental state beyond that, despite what was going on around me. So we stayed in that hotel for about a month and a half while I developed the Fiverr income. We wrote a bunch of songs and we eventually got our own apartment. We made enough money to do that. So we went to the apartment and it was a nice 2-bedroom house. Came fully furnished and whatever. And so we stayed there for about another month and a half. So we stayed in Brazil for about 3 months. We also got sponsored by this app called Yabla. We met one of the main managers of Yabla, and he sponsored us to do some videos for him, and they paid like super well. I was so surprised. They paid like 500 euros per video, and all we had to do was make like a 20-minute video about English or Spanish and like simple words and stuff. And it was really amazing. It was super cool. That was the thing that kind of brought us over the edge and kind of gave us the income we needed to like go, along with Fiverr. And Fiverr was still kind of building at this point. And then we were searching Google flights, and we found a flight to Germany for $200. And we were like, fuck it, let's go to Germany. And that brings me to the next part of this series, Germany, Europe. I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but I went back to Europe again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see the next video, go ahead and stay tuned. And you guys have a wonderful day.